Welcome back to the Midnight Who Show, and tonight I'm going to be reviewing Supergirl, the second film in the brand new DCU. And it was just okay. I don't think it deserves the title of worst comic book movie ever made, or any of that negativity that's seen online. And honestly, I did feel like I was watching a completely different final movie when I did end up watching it yesterday. Because I was kind of watching this movie and being like, this is pretty good. I like a lot of the action scenes. There's a really good story developing. Millie Alcock is really good as Supergirl. I'm not seeing what's so bad about it. Now, I will say, I am a huge fan of the Woman of Tomorrow comic book. It's a really great series, and if you haven't read it, go do that now. It's just a really great space adventure, really great art. And I do remember when this movie was first announced, I was very concerned about this adaptation simply because I knew it could never capture those amazing visuals. But I will say, I was never expecting a one-to-one adaptation. That just doesn't happen. And, I think they kept faithful to that space story. It's Supergirl having this adventure with Ruthie as they go on this cosmic adventure to stop Krem and get this quest for revenge over with. And of course, for Kara, Krem shoots and poisons Crypto. And they did keep that. But there's a little bit that they do change, and I think some won't like the changes that they did, and especially the ending. Like that, with Krem, that was a decision. I'm not really sure what I think about that one. And Ruthie, I just don't think they did a really good job with it. Like the comic book version just wasn't there. And, I know it's never going to be 100%, but I don't know. I just didn't really connect with this version that the writer chose to do. It just felt completely different than what I expected. Krem, as forgettable as they were in the comic, with an even worse design. I don't know what they were thinking. Like, that was just not a good choice. Yeah, their performance was just, not the great dialogue with them. This film also included the addition of Lobo, who was not in the original. And honestly, for the scenes that they were in, Jason Momoa did a pretty decent job. And I would actually not mind seeing another Lobo adventure out there. And honestly, it does kind of make sense to Lobo existing in space and include them. So I kind of like that inclusion. And it's kind of interesting to have Jason Momoa play a completely different character in the DCU. But this film convinces me that Millie is the perfect choice for Supergirl. And if that's the only thing that I came out with this film, then I think they did a good job. I just wish this film was just slightly better. And, this movie was just okay. And that used to work in comic book movies years ago. But unfortunately now with the general audience, it doesn't anymore. You have to be like the best of the best. And it really shows in, of course, this box office. 68 million worldwide. My goodness. I am so sad to see those numbers. Because this film does not deserve it. It's not terrible. It's not awful. It's just okay. And, would I have liked some more creativity in the world designs? Oh my goodness, yes. It definitely gets kind of bland at parts. The final confrontation, definitely not a great choice. I wish there was that more colorful environment that we got in the comic book. That would have been one choice I would have tried to keep a little bit more close, if I'm going to be honest. I really did enjoy the inclusion of how they named each of these planets and, showed you what solar it had. So we got red, green eventually, and yellow, and we get to kind of see it. And we really get to see Kara. They do a great job with Kara in this film, because you really get to just see them being not at their full power at times, but they're still able to not hold back and still actually, defend themselves. And that was really great. And, Kara is not Clark. And this film really shows that. And she doesn't have a home. And that really shows as they're kind of just out there partying. And we get to see, of course, a little glimpse of that at the end of Superman last year. What was really cool with this film is that we do get to see the destruction of Krypton. And of course, the floating, city of Argo, where Kara grew up. And we get to kind of start seeing how that all came apart for them. And that was a really cool element. I did really enjoy that. And it kind of reinforced the message from Superman last year. You can really start seeing the differences. Like, okay, Clark, your Kryptonian parent really did want that. I really did enjoy David's Superman. He had a great scenes in this movie. And they're perfect casting. And I really enjoyed the end scene where Kara finally comes there and just says they're ready to move and make Earth their home for a little bit. And I really enjoyed Clark kind of seemed to keep their cool a little bit and just was very excited for it. But I really did enjoy what about Crypto? I just enjoyed that. Crypto is this just destructive force. He's going through all his trash and then he got chocolate. Oh, Crypto. Oh my goodness. I like this film. It was pretty decent. I think, the main problem with it, though, is, besides, not connecting well with audiences, I honestly think the director was probably not the best choice. I don't think they meshed well with this script. Because the script by Anna is not bad. But Greg just did some things that I just don't think fully worked. And if they did have the choice of some of the music elements that they had, especially toward the end, weren't that great. Now, of course, I've seen it online with a lot of people. Well, Anna's writing Wonder Woman and Teen Titans. And that brings a lot of concern for people. To me, I don't think we have to be concerned. Because simply, there's enough time to course correct. The scripts are still in the early stages. And really spend a little bit more time, bring in a comic book expert, and look at the script to make sure it is perfect. This Wonder Woman film has to be a 90 plus or higher. Because if it isn't, it's gonna bomb like Supergirl. And that's not good. And I've also seen a lot of people spell doom and gloom for the DCU. And really the only thing that's gonna bring doom and gloom to the DCU is the upcoming merger with Paramount. We don't know what the Ellisons are gonna do. But seriously though, nothing's gonna stop the DCU. It just gonna have to reevaluate its priorities, and you just gotta give these top characters films. That's the only thing for success. It is only the second film, and it's a huge problem that it is this much of a misstep this early on. Because if you think about it, this is really the first project that has not been written by James Gunn. And it's not connecting with people. Kind of interesting. But we also have Lanterns coming up. How will that do? And we have Clayface, which we'll see what happens with that one. It definitely didn't cost them as much, so even if it makes the same as Supergirl in its opening week, it'll probably actually do pretty well. I'm still excited for Man of Tomorrow, and I'm excited to see Millie. They're a great Supergirl. This is just an okay film, but I still had a blast watching it, and I would actually recommend anyone who hasn't seen it to go see it in theaters. I think you will really enjoy it. Just put all of the expectations and pack them away and just go and just watch a pretty good superhero movie on the big screen. And honestly, just wait for discount day, because you'll probably get to see the movie for cheap. Or wait till streaming and just wait then. Just watch it and form your own opinions. Don't let people online form them for you. And I just wish Supergirl's big entry into the DCU for the modern era was just a bit better. What did you all think of Supergirl? Let me know your thoughts on it in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye, everyone.